Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to draw an angle, and I'm using my protractor. And there's certain parts you're going to need to know. For this protractor, I need to see this line here. That's my bullseye. That's going to be real important. And I also need to know where the 0 line is, and I can see it here. This one goes from 0, right here, all the way to 180. But it also goes backwards from 180 to 0. So what I'm going to try and do is draw a 50-degree angle. And I start by using the straight side of my protractor. And I just make a straight line, not too serious. And I'm going to draw a dot on one end. Doesn't matter what end. But this dot is going to be where my angle is. This is going to be my vertex. So now I'm going to take my protractor and I'm going to put that little bullseye. It has to line up right on this dot right here. And then I have to move my protractor so it starts at 0 degrees. So I'm going to shift it. So both things have to be true. This has to stay on the dot, and this has to stay at 0. And sometimes you can even put your finger there just to hold it in place. And now I'm going to count by tens until I get to 50. So even though I see 180, I see 170 here, it's still going by tens. So that's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. And notice I still have it right here, 50 and 130. And I'm even going to write it just to make sure that I get it right. And now the last thing I need, because I need 2 lines to make an angle, I'm just going to connect these lines. And there you have it. I've drawn a 50-degree angle. Now some kids do something like this. Let me show you this. Pretend I want to draw 120. They draw the line, and they make the dot, and they line it up, and it looks nice and pretty. But they go, wait, let me look at it. Oh, I see 120 right here. And they just look for 120, and they make a little line, and they draw it. And they say, Miss Fuentes, this is 120 degrees. And just by looking at it, I can tell that is not 120 degrees. Because 120 degrees is obtuse. That means it has to be bigger than 90 degrees. Just by looking at this, I know that what I've actually drawn is an acute angle. So when you see that, you know there's a problem. So don't just look at that one number. Don't just look at the 120. What I really drew was a 60. This is why I ask kids to really count by tens. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110. Here's 120. 120 went way past the 90. Now I've correctly drawn an angle of 120 degrees. So don't just look for the numbers. Actually really count by tens. Thank you.